Hello, Algebra 2 students. I want to read the test for Bell. It's the 2A test that you guys are looking at. For number 1, find the domain and range of the relation. I'm going to give some clarification on these also. So remember, the domain are the x values. So you have your x and y coordinates for each of these points. And so you're going to want to kind of figure out about where this would be on the x. So this is about like 4.5. This x, this one is 2, -2. So negative 4.5, -2. This one would be 0. This one would be about 2. This one would be about your positive 4.5. So those are all your x values. So that would be domain. So, you know, all your x values are your domain. And then all of your y values, each y value in a list would be the range. Remember that, okay? So which one would satisfy A, B, C, or D? The list of all of the x values and the list of all of the y values. You won't be repeating if you have the same one, so you won't repeat it. If you have, if you notice, there's this one right here where the x value is 0. So that's a big clue in my clarification for number 1. For number 2 is the relation of functions. So I'm assuming that these are x values and these are y values. So if you don't see any repeaters in the x values, like a number going to 2 different y values, if you don't see that, then you know you have a function, you're good. If you do see that, if you see an x value going to one x value going to 2 different y values, then you don't have a function. For number 3, for each function was the output of the given input. You're just going to put 2 in for x here, so you're going to have -4 times 2 minus 3, and just put your answer there. For number 4, and you could pause this, slow this down as much as possible, but I'm going to keep on going. Number 4, tickets to a concert are available online for $25 each, plus a one-time handling fee of $225. The total cost is a function of the number of tickets bought. So that would be, you know, 25 times the number of tickets plus that one-time fee of $225. So you need the formula that looks like that. 25 times the number of tickets plus the one-time handling fee of $225. Okay, then the second part of it, what function rule models, okay, we got that one. So the second question, second thing to do, evaluate the function for 6 tickets. So you're going to take 25 times 6 plus 225. And that would give you your answer, and that would help you answer this question, A, B, C, or D. For number 5, determine whether y varies directly with x, and if so, find the constant of variation k and write the equation. Remember, the equation is y equals kx. So you want to figure out what x is multiplied by each time to get y. Just read it backwards. So in order to figure out what this is multiplied by to get this, you divide. You do y divided by x. If you get the same number each time, yes, it is a direct variation. So take each y, divide it by the x, and you'll get a number. That number is your k. So you're going to write y equals whatever that number is, x. The k is your constant of variation. And you have choices A, B, C, or D. For this one, number 6, determine whether y varies directly with x. If so, find the constant variation k. What you want to do is you want to get y by itself on one side of the equation. So when you start doing that, to get you started, you'll have 3y equals 6x plus 16, because I added 6x to both sides to get rid of it over here to get my y by itself. Then you go ahead and divide each side by 3, or each term by 3. Is it going to end up looking like this? You can't have anything added or subtracted beyond that x. Okay? If you do have something added or subtracted beyond that x, it is not a direct variation. Okay, so that's for number 6. That should help you out. Number 7, find the value of y for a given value of x if y varies directly with x. So what you're going to do for this one, Ms. Bell said that you could just turn this into, instead of doing all this, y divided by x and figuring out the k, you could just do your proportion and cross multiply. So negative 372 is to 62 as y, we don't know that y, is to 72. So you can cross multiply and then solve for y. In other words, take 72 times negative 372, keep that number on your calculator, divide by 62, and that will give you y. Same thing for number 8. The distance traveled at a constant speed is directly proportional to the time traveled. So if Olivia traveled 72 miles in 4.5 hours, how many miles will Olivia travel in 1.7 hours at the same constant speed? So we have 72 compared to 4.5 hours is to 4.5 hours as what? Y, we don't know, to 1.7. Same thing. Cross multiply, in other words, take 1.7 times 72, divide it by 4.5, that will give you your y. For number 9, what is the slope of the line that passes through the given points? So I would label this your x1, your y1, your x2, your y2. And remember, to find slope, you're going to take y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That's going to give you m. M equals your slope. Okay? What is the equation of a line in slope-intercept form? So you could, use that formula y equals mx minus x1 plus y1. So, put your slope, your m here, minus your x, which is 0, minus 0, plus your y, 11, and then just work it out. Do the distributive property and combine your terms, and that will give you slope-intercept form. This one actually is pretty easy. I mean, the y-intercept is 11. So if you know that y equals mx plus b, your slope, this is your slope, so you're just going to put 9 in for that, and you're just going to put 11 in for that. So save you some time. Number 11, write the equation in slope-intercept form. What are the slope and the y-intercept? So you just have to get this in slope-intercept form. You got to get y by itself. So you're going to add 7x to both sides. And then you're going to divide by 9 all the terms. And remember, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This would be your slope. This would be your y-intercept once you get that. And it's going to be a fraction. It's going to be, that 7/9 fraction. But which one is correct? A, B, C, or D? Number 12, what is the graph of the equation? So you want to get this in slope-intercept form. So you want to get y by itself on one side. So you're just going to add that 2x. So you're going to have y equals the 2x minus 2. So you're going to want the one with the y-intercept of negative 2. And then it's going up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Okay? one of those graphs signifies that. Number 13, write an equation of the line and slope-intercept form that passes through the two given points. Once again, this is your x1, your y1, your x2, your y2. Okay, and you're going to want to do your y2 minus y1 over your x2 minus x1. That gives you your slope. Okay, once you figure out your slope, once you do that, remember if you're subtracting a negative, that becomes positive. Are you doing that? Yeah, that would be right here. Your x1 is a negative. So this would be plus 10. So just remember that little tricky spot there. Then when you find your slope, you're going to put it in here. Minus x1 plus y1. Okay. So then you're going to take in here and you're going to subtract, you take your slope, whatever you figured out here, put that in for m, and then you're going to subtract your first x, which is adding 10, because subtracting a negative is going to be adding the 10, plus your y1 plus your 8. And then you're going to, combine terms and whatnot, do the distributive property, all that, and then that will give you the slope-intercept form. This one's easier because they give you the slope and they give you a point. So you're just going to use this equation, y equals m. So your m slope is 5, so you're just going to put a 5 there. X minus your first x is, well, your only x is 4. So you're going to minus the 4 there. That's going to be your x1. And then you're going to add your y1, which is you're adding a negative 4, which would be just subtracting 4. So it'll be minus 4 there. And then do the distributive property. Figure that out. It's x. And lastly, number 15, what are the intercepts of the equation, and graph the equation. So what you're going to do is you're going to think of it without the y, so y equals 0. So 4x minus 20, or equals negative 20. 4x equals negative 20. So your first equation is going to be 4x equals negative 20. Solve for x. X equals, divide both sides by 4. Okay? And then your second equation, think of x as 0, so you're going to have negative 5y equals negative 20. So negative 5y equals negative 20. So y equals, divide both sides by negative 5. So negative 20 divided by negative 5, that's going to be your y. Okay? Which one of these graphs and descriptions best fit those answers? A, B, C, or D? Okay. Good luck on this test, and I hope it helps.